My name is Terry O'Neill, living now in Connecticut, outside New York City. I had a career in network television at ABC, NBC, and CBS. My son, oldest son, was a quarterback, suffered 6 major injuries, only 2 of them in games, 4 of them in practice, which is an unknown phenomenon in pro football. So I gathered up a few friends in football and in television, coaches like Dick Vermeil, Sam Weish, Mike Ditka, and we founded Practice Like Pros in order to take the limited contact formats of NFL football and apply them to high school football practice. I used to say, I see more contact in one high school football practice than I saw in 3 years as a senior vice president of the New Orleans Saints. And this is the reason for Practice Like Pros. We tour the country showing on video high school coaches how NFL teams practice with limited contact. And then we implore those high school coaches to go to their governing bodies of high school athletics, state by state, and ask that contact mandates be reduced, legislated, so that all coaches are required to practice with less and less contact. We've changed contact rules in 6 states, and in 2 of those states, New Jersey and North Carolina, we've engineered the lowest contact restrictions of any football jurisdiction at any level. New Jersey and North Carolina now have less contact than the NFL, less contact than any college football team or league, including the Ivy League. These 2 are the model states for us, New Jersey and North Carolina. And the coaches in those states will tell you it's been tremendously beneficial, not only in keeping players healthier, but in recruiting players. The message that parents want to hear when their sons ask to play high school football is, how dangerous is it? How well are coaches taking care of my sons? And the answer in those 2 states is taking better care of the players than anywhere else in football. We did a clinic in Chicago a few years ago, and sitting in the front row, taking notes and supremely attentive to the video was Coach Jeff Vlk of Buffalo Grove High in Illinois. And we met after the clinic and stayed in touch, and he promised he would transition his program, and he did like no other. There's probably no other example in the country of a state that more dramatically went from contact to virtually no contact in practice and had great success with it. And that's the selling point. Not only do you keep the players healthy and safer, but you can win with it, as Jeff has proven.
My name is Jeff Vlk. I'm the head football coach at Buffalo Grove High School in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, and this is my 20th year at Buffalo Grove High School and 20th year coaching football. Well, we had just come off a season in 2017 where we were 9-2. It was our best record in about 15 years. We hadn't had a playoff run in almost 15 years at that point, and we were really successful. At this point, we were hitting. So we came back in 2018, and me being a young head coach at the time was really saying, we need to turn it up. We need to hit more, right? And we thought we had a team that could compete to go deep in the playoffs. We had a team that could really compete for a playoff run. So as physical as we were in 2017, we were extra physical in 2018, and we hit every day, like Terry said. Summer camp, the season. And then as the season started in 2018, we ended up losing, I think, 7 starters within the first 3 weeks. So we went from being a team that was, we thought, competing for a deep playoff run to a team that was just trying to survive and make the playoffs. So in 2019, we decided, I'm like, I got to do something different. And I'm talking with our trainers, and a lot of our injuries happened in practice. We had a young team. We had kind of graduated everyone. We had limped into the playoffs in 2018. So I said, well, this is a good year to make the transition and make the switch. So we made the switch, and to be honest, my coaches were not on board. I had some old school coaches that did not want to do it. And I'm like, no, guys, we're going to do this. We're going to go all in on this. I don't want to, just go in it halfway. And we did. And we ended up losing our first 2 games. And I was terrified because the parents didn't like it. The coaches didn't like it. Some of the players weren't a fan. But I really stuck to my guns with it. Now, in those first 2 games, we were way outmatched athletically. So we probably would have lost the games anyways, is my point. So the third game, we're playing a team, and 3 of their best players were out that game. Now, mind you, we come in, we're fully healthy. We had limited contact, in the summer and in practice. And we came out and we end up with a 21-point victory over a team that we were very evenly matched with. Well, 2021, we exploded and had a phenomenal season. Still going practice like pros. We ended up breaking a 20-year school rushing record, 20-year points record, made it the second round of the playoffs, tied for our conference, the conference championship, which we hadn't done since 2001. So ever since then, we started to get buy-in. And those old school coaches I had on my staff, who we still talk. Some of them retired, some of them are, moved out of state, stuff like that. But we talk all the time. And it's funny because some of those guys have gone on to coach other places and try to bring the practice like pros model because of the transition that we made throughout that time. We've actually had less practice concussions than the cheerleading team over the past 6 years. When you talk about the decrease in, head injuries over the years, I think the biggest myth with practice like pros is that you don't teach tackling in practice. We still teach tackling, we just teach it differently. We're still doing tackle stations, and we really kind of went to the Pete Carroll model. We teach a rugby style tackling. Back in the day, we would teach, get your head in front, stick your head in there, stuff like that. But if you watch a rugby game, those guys don't wear helmets or pads. And those guys are out there hitting and bringing each other to the ground. So we really ended up going to a little bit more of a rugby style tackling, tackling on bags, a thing they call roll tackle, where you're kind of tackling and rolling a guy on the ground, things to that nature. So kind of taking the head out of the tackle, I guess, is the biggest thing. Any coach that really wants to try this, I'm going to be very honest with you, you're going to catch a lot of heat when you do it. And, there's a great line in the movie Moneyball. I don't know if you've seen the movie Moneyball, but where Jonah Hill says to Brad Pitt, and he says, sometimes you hit a home run and you don't even know it. And I think that's really kind of, the thing that you have to understand is that when you first do it, you're going to have coaches against you, you're going to have parents against you. But if you really believe in it, you got to stick to your guns and give it a shot.
The website is practicelikepros.com. But interestingly, another way we get our message out is with coaches like Jeff. He transitioned from full contact practice and he's winning.